Okay, I think we're live. Didn't get the exciting intro today, but
yeah, exactly. I was
comments coming in.
Yeah.
Didn't get the countdown today, but all good. How's everyone doing today?
Hi guys, hi. We're live on. I think it's just YouTube today, right? I think we didn't shoot across all platforms.
Let's see.
Hello.
Only YouTube today. All right.
Okay, so let's start pulling up some questions. Hi Aguya, hi Smati. When did FunderPro? Okay, Tim, maybe you can cover this one. You've been here more than me. When did FunderPro start, and did you know you would become #1?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I would like to claim it right now, I don't think we're #1 yet. I mean, we're doing our best to get there. But when we started, I'm actually not sure about the exact launch date. I would say it was between March and April 2023, but I'd have to go back and find it. So yeah, I think we must have just had our 2-year anniversary not long ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 years on our way to #1. Not there yet, but I think we're on the right path. How does FunderPro pay you? Aguya, we have currently crypto payouts and Rise available. For Rise, obviously, you have to create your own Rise account. We would invite you, and we would transfer money directly. Hello, Danny. Yep, FunderPro does pay in crypto. Is it just USDC, right, Tim?
Exactly.
Yeah, you can pay multiple currencies, but you can get paid out in USDC only, right?
Exactly. Also with us, obviously having to hold these funds and pay them out, doing other currencies with higher volatility like Bitcoin, is bad for us because they fluctuate all the time, and we don't want to be exposed to that level, and the fees are higher, and transactions can take a bit longer. So some time ago, we just settled on USDT, and that's been working out pretty well.
Cool. Tell me briefly about FunderPro. Biholo, seems like you're new. So FunderPro is a prop firm. We have our B2C offering, obviously, for CFDs and futures, in case you're a trader yourself. And we also have a B2B arm where we offer technology to people that want to start their own prop firm. I guess this answers also Rahul's question. So FunderPro is a prop firm. As you know, let's not go through the basics and waste too much time here, but you buy a challenge, you have certain targets, and as soon as you hit your targets and follow the rules, you get funded, and you can then request payouts on any profit you make, daily payouts, which can follow up, I think, with this question. Why 1% minimum withdrawal, add in daily payouts? So, interesting question. Yeah, we released this a couple of weeks ago, and we had a lot of people asking why we had to introduce this. So, as most of you know, FunderPro has been one of the only firms, if not the only firm, that offers daily payouts, even multiple payouts within the same day. And we've scaled so much at this point where having a minimum of $50 on accounts like 100K and 200K was just bombarding our operational side. People were just making $50, $100 and withdrawing multiple times a day. And it was just taking so much time from our team to process all these small payouts. So we checked the market, and we tried to find a threshold which would be fair both for our traders and for us as well. And we think 1% is a good threshold for anyone to be able to request a payout at. So if you have a 5K account, you can still withdraw at $50. There's no minimum across all accounts. But on a 100K account, you would have to make 1,000 to be able to withdraw. And to be fair, I don't think 1% is too big of an amount to ask from a trader.
And you can also argue, now it's fair across the board. If you bought a 5K account, $50 was always 1%. But on, like you said, on a 200K account, it's like a tiny fluctuation in the market. So now, achieving 1% profit before payout is a very achievable target. We don't feel like it's too high or actually restricting you from getting payouts. It's just, a small amount of profit on the account. Everyone has the same odds of getting the next payout.
Yeah, makes it reasonable to be able to pay it out. And I think this will also help us increase payout speed as well. Not that it's been slow; it's always been under 24 hours. It's a daily payout, but it's different when you have 200 payouts of $100 each vs having 20 payouts of 1,000 each, right? We can process those faster. So what is the 45% rule in FunderPro? So you're probably referring to the consistency rule. We have a 45% consistency rule on our two-phase regular and the swing challenges. And basically this means that your best trading day cannot be more of 45% of the profit target. So let's say you buy an 100K challenge and you have a 10K profit target. The most you should make in one day is 4.5K. If you make more, it doesn't mean that we're going to fail your account. It just means that you have to continue trading to make sure that your best trading day is 45% or less of the overall amount that you made, the profit target. We have some cool videos on that as well. I think you can check our YouTube channel. 1% payout. I think we answered this again.
Just a moment ago.
Yeah. How's everybody's trading going, by the way? Because I think this whole tariff thing with Trump is going a bit crazy in the market, right? I know, Tim, you don't trade, but I've seen comments from the community that they're either getting big profits or some of them are losing a lot of money.
Yeah. Actually, I think the last AMA or the last one I was on as well, I asked Christian, with him being a trader, to ask him if this affected him or like how he would adjust his trading around it. And he actually answered, as a trader, you actually kind of want volatility as long as you can adjust, your sizing, kind of your risk around it a little bit. The way he explained it or the way I understood it, it means the market still kind of behaves in the same way, or your strategies might still apply in the same way, largely. Obviously, with different news coming out, different economic conditions affecting the markets, I'm sure you also got to factor in that in your risk. But generally, he said, things just kind of largely still move as they normally would. You just catch bigger moves. So you change your risk profile a bit, but there's just more action going on. So actually, he was pretty happy about the market conditions. But I'm sure it can go either way.
Yeah, chart sniper.
Exactly, yeah.
This comment here, right here, just adjusting trading smaller lots and bigger stops. Yeah. So depending on the market, you just need to adjust your trading strategy. Okay, so is there any lot size limit? I think this question can be answered well with one of the rules that's been discussed recently about over leveraging and overexposure. So obviously, as a prop firm, we don't want people to just burn and churn accounts, right? We don't want people to just purchase accounts, try to go max lots in one direction, hoping that the market takes them there. And in our challenges, we have the consistency rule, which kind of protects our firm as well, making sure that people that get through to the funded stage don't just hit one big move and they have to prove they can trade over a few days. But also in the funded stage, because there's no exact consistency rule and you can withdraw payouts from your first trade. We just want to make sure that people are not overexposing themselves in the market, and you take more controlled, let's say, risk on trading your funded account. So never go full margin on your funded account. Generally, around 30%, I think, as a rule of thumb, is what is suggested. Okay, let's see. What is the highest payout in FunderPro? Look, this is actually a quite. This question is very tricky because with other firms, usually you can withdraw once every 2 weeks. So the profits that you make actually pile up, right? So you can request the payout after 2 weeks of, let's say, 20,000. Meanwhile, because we offer daily payouts, you're going to make 1, 2, 5, 10K, and then you're going to withdraw that. So you're never going to see a 50K payout with FunderPro because people take their profits every day. So they might take, let's say, 5K payouts 5 times in 1 week. So that's 25, but you're going to see 5, 5, 5 all the time. But we still have had quite big ones. I think I've seen a 20K payout as well. And imagine that's allowing daily payouts as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the kind of lifetime stats here. When we've had maybe like over 20 grand, and one a little over a year ago came close to 6 figures. But that's like by far the biggest outlier. And again, back then, I think we were far too lenient in how people would get there. So I personally didn't look at those trades that made that happened. But yeah.
So Felice is saying 2024 highest payout was roughly 34K. That's crazy. We should actually do, I think there's area for improvement for us to start like making a lot more stories around this, because I see some firms like posting like 5K, 10K payouts, and I see that, I'm like, oh, that's cute. But when we have the daily payouts thing and people are getting 2, 3, 5K a day for 5 days in a row, that actually sums up. So
yeah, we used to actually in the app have what we call the leaderboard, kind of showing how much people are making on funded accounts. But that was based around before we started offering the daily payouts, so ages ago, right around when we launched, because it would actually show accumulated profit before payouts on funded accounts, kind of an overview of profits right now. But with people withdrawing every couple of hours, the leaderboard, the way it currently works, is pointless because everyone kind of goes back to their starting balance fast. But maybe we could do something like what we just talked about, kind of like more like a lifetime leaderboard or like a yearly, monthly kind of leaderboard. That could be fun to look at.
Yeah, Samati seems to be one of our long-term followers, because he's saying that Tiltboy got 88K in 1 month. That's awesome. Also, there's one question that I've been bringing on and off because I've been wanting to get your insight on this. I think it's crypto trading also, or just Forex. We have crypto trading as well. Then you can trade crypto over the weekend if you have a swing account, right, Tim? I think there's quite a few like Bitcoin USD, Ethereum USD, and quite a few other pairs there.
I believe so, yeah.
Does FunderPro allow trading bots or EAs? So this question comes up very often. And yes, we do allow you to trade with bots or EAs as long as they're yours, because we have a rule, obviously, that you can't copy trades from another trader, because that would be unbalanced risk for us. So we want you to trade your account with your strategy, your skills. And if you just buy someone's EA and you put it on, we have ways of finding out, and our team would have to reach out to you. So yes, you can use bots or EAs. Just make sure that they're ones that you set up or you configured, and not just some bot that you purchase online. Maximum account size limit. Yes, we have 200K max allocation right now and funded. We're looking to hopefully increase that soon. I mean, we have Tim, head of product here. We're looking into the numbers and seeing if we can possibly boost that up, because it has been highly requested. But to make sure that we do it and it happens in a sustainable way, we have to make sure that all the right risk management rules are in place.
Could also see us going up a bit more gradually. I think the next number everyone would be looking at would maybe be 400. That's obviously literally double, quite aggressive. But maybe we can scale this up slowly over time and then just look at the data and see how sustainable it is or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. All right. So tell me 2 good things about FunderPro and why I should buy FunderPro. Sorvaya, sorry if I butchered that. I'm not, don't know how to pronounce the name. So FunderPro is one of the only firms, if not the only firm, that offers daily payouts, meaning as soon as you pass your challenge, you can make any profit above 1%, and you can get to withdraw it the same day. If you make 1% the next day as well, you can withdraw that. So there's no limitation on minimum trading days. And another good thing about FunderPro is that the people that are behind it are actually people that are in the trading industry, and they have like a wide experience across multiple companies. They're not just some, let's say, trading influencer who decided to just launch a firm on the side, right? We're here to do it right, and we're here to do it for the long term.
I'm seeing some questions or like on the topic overall, kind of what is the allowed risk percentage or what are the guidelines around use of margin and risk on accounts.
Yeah, on risk on the accounts. So I think the rule of thumb that we can just say is just don't use excessive margin on one trade idea. So don't go and trade anything above 20-30% of your margin in one direction on one instrument or correlated instrument. So for example, S&P and NASDAQ are two instruments that tend to sometimes move in the same direction. So we don't want to say that using 30% of your margin per instrument is okay, because if you go and open lots worth 30% of your margin on NASDAQ and then 30% on S&P, and they're both highly correlated, so you might end up having the same amount of risk. So around 30% of your margin on one trade idea is what you should be aiming for. Hello, VJ. Do you trade in New York session? I think maybe the chat would be better to answer this. I know Tim doesn't actively trade, me neither. I mean, I've tried to start trading on a couple of accounts with the help of Christian over the past month, but yeah, I'm not someone you should take advice from. Is news trading preferable? So if you mean preferable in terms of if you should prefer trading around news, the answer is generally no, because when there's news events, you don't know where the market would go, right? So we have a rule where we don't allow traders to enter a trade 2 minutes before or after any news event as FunderPro. And if you trade with your own capital as well in a broker, that's one rule that you should probably consider taking on as well, because when you're trading around news, especially big news events like NFP, then you're basically gambling because you can't predict where it's going to go. Can I say risk 1% per trade is okay? Yeah, 1%. I wouldn't say per trade. I would say per trade idea, because like I said before, there's instruments that are highly correlated. So don't go and find like 3-4 instruments that are generally moving in the same direction and take 1% on each. But yeah, 1 to 2.5, 3% is fine, as long as, again, don't go all in with your margin. Why don't you host game nights? I'd like to hear more on this.
That is a good question. Yeah, like what kind of games?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Poker night at FunderPro.
Yeah, that's. I know you're waiting for that one.
I think our legal team would have some thoughts on that if I bring that up.
What's the suggestion? What's the best time to trade in the market? I don't think me and Tim are the right people to give you advice on that. However, I know like generally a few people that I know the trades, they like New York session because there tends to be some volatility there as soon as it opens. Maybe people in the chat can tell us what time they prefer to trade and why. Can we fix margin rule because it's not fair on fast track due to 1% leverage? A two-step has 1/5 leverage and still 30% margin rule. Fast track 30%. Okay, so generally, look, the way we put these rules in place are always based on data, and they're always because we want to be able to make the conditions better down the line. So because we know that people have been asking for us to lower the profit targets for a while now, and we do want to do that. But before we do that, we want to make sure that people that are trading know how to manage risk well and that they don't excessively, let's say, open large positions without managing the risk well. So because our one phase is like a fast way to get to the funded stage, we we want to make sure that you don't open large position sizes and try to go crazy with the market. So 1 to 10 leverage is what we have there now. We know that it's there have been requests to get it higher, and we have it somewhere in the backlog for review. But the way FunderPro works, I think, and how the most legitimate firms work is they would rather be safe, make sure that the data checks out before we make any changes. Because if we just listen to what everybody's asking for and we just go and apply it, it could turn bad, and then we have to reverse. And we never want to make something too loose and go back to it after. How can I manage emotions if I take 3 consecutive losses? So again, I'm not a trader. I know Tim isn't, but from what I've heard, because I've been asked this question many times and I've asked around as well, it's always good to take a step back to, I think what Christian said was, go touch the grass, go outside, get some, take a break, let your brain rest, and evaluate your strategy. Because if it could be 3 consecutive losses just because the market happened to go against your strategy, or it could be that your strategy actually doesn't check out. So not very useful advice, I know, but I think taking a break is the main thing that people would suggest.
Yeah. I mean, since we kind of talked about poker night or poker in general, I think in those between trading and poker, it's pretty similar. Even if you just kind of, even if you're doing everything right, sometimes you might just take some hits, and even if you think it doesn't affect how you approach the markets or the poker table, sometimes it does still affect you kind of deeper inside, and it's often good to just walk away for a day, take a break, or come back, focus on studying instead of execution for a day, kind of, give yourself a bit of rest and come back with a fresh mindset a day later. The markets will still be there, the games will still be there, but this way you make sure you go in there with a cool head and you manage your risk or your exposure well.
Yeah, exactly. Games like quiz related to FunderPro. Our marketing team should take note of this. That would be fun, actually, because I think
for sure.
We have quite a lot of people that have been around for a long time. So it would be fun to actually think, like maybe make a quiz out of like who got the highest payout in FunderPro.
And things like when was FunderPro founded, or when did it actually start operating? I could finally look that up and make it a fun Thursday night question.
Yeah, I think Alex is listening in. Let's take note of this. It'll be fun.
Write this down.
Poker, and I see you, Tim, you referring to to poker. We're getting people asking for poker nights.
So I think we can take a handful more questions and then start wrapping up.
Is the margin rule only for the live accounts? No, it's not only for the live accounts, because we want you to generally manage your risk well across both the challenge and the funded account. However, because we have the consistency rule on the challenge, it tends to be safer for us, and we can manage risk better and like evaluate your skills better there. But because we have daily payouts on the funded accounts with 1% minimum, we need to make sure that you don't just gamble your way into a payout, right? So that's why we have the margin rule there. What's the goal of FunderPro? Gary was going to be with us today, but something already came up. I think it would be better you hear it from him. But I think the goal of FunderPro has always been, since the beginning, to reach the top, right? To offer good service to traders, offer an environment where traders can actually prove their skills and partner with a prop firm for long-term success. And I know it sounds cliche, but there's so many prop firms launching day after day, and there's only very few that see the long-term game, and FunderPro is one of them. So stick around for the
very much focused on sustainability, kind of instead of putting firm against trader, finding a sustainable way as a firm to work with traders, with good traders. And yeah, like you said, be around for the long term.
Exactly. We launched futures as well. So we're trying to build an ecosystem. There's discussions about other cool products as well, which I can't quite disclose yet. But the goal is to build an ecosystem around FunderPro where traders can come through and have multiple options to choose from. When is the CEO coming? Yeah, Gary was going to show up, but there was something very urgent that came up, so he had to skip. How to calculate consistency? I think we have this in our dashboard, right, Tim?
We do, yeah. Every account that has a consistency rule on it will show this. Obviously, it's a bit trickier to anticipate it if you don't have trade history yet, because it calculates after you actually do trade on the account. But in essence, it compares your total profit on the account or your profit target, if you're just starting to trade on the account, against your most profitable day on that account. So let's say over 3 days, on day 2, we have the highest increase in account equity. That would be your highest profit day with a certain profit amount. And then we calculate that against your overall profit on that account. And that percentage is the consistency value. Mm-hmm. And if the rule is 45%, that value needs to be at 45% or lower for you to be, so to speak, in compliance with the rule.
Yeah. That to make it easy for people. Okay, I want to actually address this question. Gamble your way into payout. What do you mean? That's why we have 2 phases to pass. No, and even if the gamble payout, why does it matter? Because what happens if you gamble your way up and you don't make profits and you actually lose? Like the amount is so disproportionate for how much traders pay for a challenge against how much drawdown is actually put into play. So the word gambling is not even like something we are open to discuss about. It's the prop firm has its own capital and it wants to manage it well. So that we're going to put every rule in place that has to be there, make it clear for the traders, always be transparent. That's the goal. And then people that know how to trade and have the skill will be able to benefit a lot from it. Is changing strategy good? I think we're going to have a trader with us next time in the next AMA. Many trading questions. Changing your strategy is good if you see that your strategy is not profitable. Now, how often you should evaluate your strategy? Again, I'm not the right person to answer. But yeah, you need to, from what I know, you need to give your strategy some time to play out and then be able to evaluate it when needed to adjust. Obviously, sticking to the same strategy when you're losing for 2 months in a row is not is probably not the best thing to do. Thank you very much for joining. Hopefully next time we can get Gary in as well to talk more about the vision of FunderPro. We need to get a trader in here as well to answer all these questions around trading. We can only talk from what we've heard from traders, and we have traders in the company that we talk with every day. So it's better you hear it from them.
Okay, and on that note, we can wrap up with the giveaway. What's the grand prize today?
We're shooting a giveaway. Cool.
We are.
So, do we have who's in that can help us with the giveaway?
Yeah, I think Alex will share with us the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Challenge accounts in a second, and then we're good to spin it.
Until Alex gets that going. There's another one here. What's your big goal in the trading industry? Again, we answered this before, I think, is just to be able to offer the best environment for traders and as many options as possible. We have our CFD prop firm, we have our futures prop firm, and some other exciting projects around the corner. So being able to offer as many options as possible at the best environment and always be transparent about it and build a good long-term relationship with profitable traders. Okay. Okay, Alex is preparing the giveaway wheel. That's great. It's an interesting AMA. We had some good questions today. I hope we answered the most important ones. We can't answer all of them. I think we answered the most important ones.
Yep.
Thank you, Victor. We love you too.
Coming in with the compliments, hoping to sway or affect the wheel. But
Yeah.
The wheel is impartial. It does not judge.
Why don't you interview successful traders? I got 15,000 from FunderPro. I'll give an interview. This is actually something that we do want to start doing at some points. We want to start interviewing our successful traders. There's just so much going on at the moment within the marketing team. Look, why don't you reach out to our support team at support@funderpro.com, mention that you're interested in doing the interview, and we'll try and hook you up with someone for an interview. Would be really good, I think.
One other thing to mention while we wait, kind of something completely different, is a mention of our loyalty program. It's called Fast Loyal, and it's available through the app. Kind of in the bottom right, you'll find a red golden coin symbol. It's been around for, I think, over a year now, but we recently kind of revamped the structure, made it a little bit more accessible. So if you haven't checked it out, it's free to opt in, and on every purchase you earn FunderPro tokens, not actual cryptocurrency tokens or anything, loyalty points that you can exchange for coupons to take some of the price of your next purchase.
Where can people redeem these tokens? Because I haven't actually played about with it myself.
Yeah, so everything happens in this kind of widget you find in the bottom right of your screen. It pops up kind of like the support window. In there, you can see your points balance, the different things you can buy with those points. And if you buy a coupon, you simply get an email with that coupon code, and then you apply it during your next purchase.
Okay, so Tim, you want to pull up the wheel?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. It's my first time spinning the wheel, so let's see. Okay, nice. I think everyone should be able to see the wheel. Let's spin it. So to confirm, we're giving away one 10K account today.
I don't think we can see it, can we? Alito, do we have it here? Do we need to switch around something here?
Let's see.
Yeah, there you go. Now we can see it.
Okay, amazing. So one 10K challenge account, and you get to choose the account type. Okay, good luck. We're spinning.
Right. Wow.
Well done. So yeah, reach out to us if you can on Discord, and then the team will help you get you set up with the account.
Awesome. Right, let's wrap it up. Thank you everyone for joining. We hope we answered most of your important questions, and we'll have another AMA again very soon. We'll make sure that we have the big bosses in as well to go even deeper into your questions.
For sure. Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks Andreas.
Thank you, Tim.
Catch you next time. Yep.
Thank you guys. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.